Hello everyone, Genki here. This is my friend Tom. Tom is scared of Espurr because this little creature is said to have enough psychic energy to blow up everything within 300 feet of itself. That would probably explain why it looks sleep deprived. It's pure psychic type and has a 355 base stat total. Its stats are well rounded. Special attack, special defense, speed, and HP are all in the low 60s. It has decent bulk, but 63 special attack versus 48 attack basically solidifies what type of set we'll be using. Espurr doesn't get that many moves by level up, the last move being at level 33. Interestingly, Espurr learns screens by level up. However, it's clear we'll be relying heavily on TMs. I mean, look at this. Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Calm Mind. This run will be pretty stacked. Let's go over the rules. I can only use Esper in battle. No items in battle, only held items outside of combat are allowed. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin. I traded in an Esper at the first Poké Center. I named him Tom. Tom is modest nature, so more special attack, less attack. One of the better natures. His ability is Keen Eye, so he can't have his accuracy lowered. He starts with always Scratch and Leer, but thankfully it only takes till level 9 for him to learn his first psychic move, Confusion. However, Confusion at level 9 is a 3 KO in the modus for Coco and Palmy. At level 10, we start with the Fake Out, which flinched Coco, making it easier to finish it off with 2 Confusions. Against Palmy, Confusion now did half, so as Tom easily tanked the Thundershock, a second Confusion finished off Palmy. We cannot enter Mezagoza, but first we did some grinding. We did some Terror Raids, and grinded on Maripes to boost Tom's special attack. We also picked up the TM for Calm Mind, before starting our journey by facing off against our first Titan, Claw. Claw outsped, and its Vice Grip did a third, as our Terror boosted Confusion did less than half of Claw's health. We did confuse Claw though, and it did hit itself. This gave us a free Calm Mind, allowing our next Confusion to finish off Phase 1 Claw. For Phase 2, Claw immediately went for Rock Tomb, doing almost half of Tom's health, as we set up a Calm Mind. A second Rock Tomb left Tom at only 4 HP, as Tom's Confusion took Claw to below half health. This activated Claw's Anger Shell, but thankfully Claw attacked Shelter, who went for Life Dew. This opening gave Tom the chance to finish off Claw. By the way, fun fact, the only way Shelter can learn Life Dew is through chain breeding. Quite interesting. With Claw out of the way, we have to tackle our first gym, the Bug Gym. Katie leads with Nimble, who knows Struggle Bug, a super effective move that lowers special attack. Thankfully, at level 18, Confusion one-shots Nimble. We then went for 2 Calm Minds against Tarantula, whose Bug Bites left Tom on the third. It was of course a one-shot, but more importantly, so was Teddy Ursa. On to our next gym, the Grass Gym. We started with a Calm Mind, as Petalil used a weak Mega Drain. We then terrestrialized, and one-shot Petalil and Smoliv with our newly learned Psybeam. Last is Sudowoodo. It survived Psybeam with red health, but it only did weak damage with Rock Throw, so it went down the following turn. We now have to head back west, but we have an issue. Our only 2 options are Bombardier or the Team Star Dark Base. Both are immune to Psybeam. I decided to attempt Bombardier. It outsped it did almost half of Tom's health with Wing Attack, as we set up a Calm Mind. Bombardier then went for Pluck, leaving Tom at only 8 HP, as the Sombering Voice only did a third. I had an idea, but it required some traveling. With only a level 22 Espurr, we went to Glaciana Mountain, where we had to do a speed boost jump to the other side of this lake, in order to reach the team for Thunderbolt. We attempted Thunderbolt without Calm Mind, but it was still 2 KO Bombardier. Thankfully, Bombardier went for Rock Throw, so Tom was going into Phase 2 with yellow health. Bombardier started Phase 2 with a Torment on Arven's Knockley, as Thunderbolt did over half of Bombardier's health. Knockley then wasted its turn on Rock Polish, so as Bombardier decided to use a Wing Attack on Knockley, a second Thunderbolt from Tom finished it off. The Team Star Dark base would still be too difficult, so it's off to Levensia, and our next Nomona battle. We start with the Calm Mind, as Rockruff set up a Howl. However, it was a one-shot side beam. Palmy was also a one-shot, but I think Parklore survived the hit. Its bite did a huge chunk of damage, but one more side beam finished it off. Time for the Electric Gym. We set up 2 Calm Minds against Wattrel, as its pluck did a little over a third. Wattrel and Luxio were technically one-shots at +1, but at +2, now Bellybutt was a one-shot. Last is Magius. It outsped Tom and went for Confuse Ray. Tom didn't hit himself, but Miss Magius still lived the attack. This caused Tom to take a big hit from Hex, which left him in red health, but one more side beam finished off Miss Magius. Next is the Water Gym. For this battle, we had to get Reflect. This way, we could set up 2 Calm Minds. However, Veluza's Aqua Cutter was still doing a quarter per hit. With only 21 HP left, we took out Veluza with Thunderbolt. Thankfully, our Reflect still had one more turn left, because Trio outsped, and took Tom to red health before it went down. Last is Crabominable, who we outsped in one shot. Okay, time for our first Team Star base. We led with Reflect, as Pioneer started his Fury Cutter spam. We then set up a single Calm Mind, before one-shotting Pioneer with Thunderbolt. Giacomo's Starmobile still outsped Tom, but its Wicked Torque didn't do that much damage as Thunderbolt did a third. The Starmobile then lowered Tom's special defense with Metal Sound, as our second Thunderbolt left the Starmobile at below a quarter. The special defense drop allowed the Starmobile Snarl to take Tom all the way down to 6 HP, but one more Thunderbolt finished it off. With Tom at a pretty high level, we went to South Province Area 5. By taking out all the trainers, we can get the Eviolite, giving Tom a 50% boost to his defense and special defense when held. With this and Reflect, it's time for the Team Star Firebase. Torkoal's Flame Wheel, despite being sun boosted, only did a scratch. This allowed us to safely set up 2 Calm Minds against Torkoal, who thankfully never went for Clear Smog. Torkoal was then a one-shot with Thunderbolt. Last is Mela Starmobile. It decided to leave with Screech, as our Psyshock did over a half. The Starmobile then went for Blazing Torque. However, Tom survived with yellow health, and finished off the Starmobile with one more Psyshock. Next is our third Titan, Orform. We started with Reflect, as Orform went for Wrap. We then set up 2 Calm Minds, as Orform went for Iron Tail, which Tom survived in green health, and then Headbutt. Psyshock is resisted, so I had Tom use Thunderbolt, which one-shot Earthworm. On to phase 2. We still led with Reflect, as Earthworm went for Sandstorm. We then again set up 2 Calm Minds, as Earthworm only attacked Arven's Toadstool. Thunderbolt now only took Earthworm to a third, but then Earthworm went for Wrap, so one more Thunderbolt finished it off. Time for the 5th gym. Larry's Kamala has a high defense stat, so I switched Psyshock for Psybeam. However, it's very RNG dependent if we can get past Kamala. We started with Reflect, as Kamala went for Yawn, so we only got a 1 Calm Mind before Tom fell asleep. While asleep, we had to keep clicking Calm Mind, so we could avoid Sucker Punch. However, once our Reflect wore off, we had to switch to Reflect. We went through this dance one more time, before finally taking out Kamala with a +4 Psybeam. To no one's surprise, the Dunsparce was also a one-shot. Staraptor though outsped, but Tom survived his Terra Boosted Facade with 1 HP, giving him the chance to get off a single Psybeam, which one-shot Staraptor. With 5 badges, we were immediately put into a Nomona battle, and of course Lycanroc outspeeds and flinches us to death with Bite. I decided to train up Tom's speed. I gave him the Power Anklet and started our assault on Paldea's Rookidee and Palmy population. With Tom now at 90 speed, he outsped Lycanroc and set up Reflect, reducing the damage of Bite. We then set up 2 Calm Minds, however we forgot to Terrestrialize, so Lycanroc was a 2-hit KO with Psybeam. With only a quarter of our HP remaining, we plowed through Gumi and Pommel. Skelders though survived Psybeam with a quarter. It then surprisingly went for Lick, which Tom survived with 9 HP, allowing him to take out Skeletors the next turn. Onto the Team Star Poison base. Atticus leads with Skuntank, so we can't just spam Psybeam. Skuntank decided to spam Sucker Punch at first, so we managed to gain our free Reflect and Calm Mind, but as we set up our second Calm Mind, Skuntank poisoned Tom with Toxic. We set up a Calm Mind before finally taking out Skuntank with Thunderbolt. Red Room and Muck were both one-shot with Psybeam, leaving only the Starmobile. Fun fact, when only the Starmobile is left, it immediately comes out. No time to switch, but also no poison or burn damage. This little detail allowed Tom to survive Noxious Torque, and one-shot the Starmobile with Psybeam. We're not ready for Iron Treads, so it's time for the Psychic Gem. Thunderbolt was not going to cut it against Ferrograff, so I had to T-Storm Dark Pulse. We then had to get lucky and not get any defense drops from Ferrograff's Crunch. With +4 special attack and only 24 HP remaining, Ferrograff and the Spother are both one-shots. Gardevoir survived Dark Pulse and took Tom to only 8 HP with Dazzling Gleam, but it went down the next turn. Last is Florges, who was thankfully a one-shot. Our reward for this gem is the TM4 Psychic, which we immediately used to replace Psybeam. Okay, now it's time for Iron Treads. We start with a Reflect, but then Ironhead did almost a third. We set up a single Calm Mind before going on the offensive. Psychic took Iron Treads to half health, despite being resisted. A third Ironhead left Tom in red health, but one more Psychic ends phase 1. On to phase 2. Iron Treads decided to start with Rapid Spin, but then Scavillain just went for Scary Face. We started with a Reflect, so as we went for Calm Mind, Scavillain survived Iron Treads stomping Tantrum with green health. We then went for Psychic, which took Iron Treads to below half, as Scavillain's Fire Fang took Iron Treads to a quarter. For its final move, Iron Treads went for a resisted Iron Hand to Scavillain, before we finished it off with Psychic. Next is the Ghost Gem, but first, I stopped by the Hyper Training guy, and boosted Tom's special attack and speed. Also, with 6 badges, we have our next Nimona battle. We started by setting up Reflect, as Lycanroc attempted to use Sand Attack. However, our Keen-Eye negated the Action Drop. We then set up 2 Calm Minds, as 2 Crunches from Lycanroc still left Tom in green health. Nemona's team was a one-shot Super Psychic. Onto the gym, and this was rough. Mimikyu's constant barrage of Shadow Sneaks kept destroying us. However, on this attempt, Mimikyu didn't start with a Shadow Sneak, so we were able to set up Reflect. However, Mimikyu's Slash got a crit, because of course it got a crit. Our Reflect helped Tom survive Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch green health, before we could one-shot Banana with Psychic. Houndstone and Toxtricity were also one-shots with Psychic. Mimikyu though needed 2 hits, so we first broke its disguise with Psychic, as it decided to set up Light Screen. However, with +2 special attack from Cheer Boost, it was not enough to survive Tom's Psychic. Time for the final gym, and this one took a while. Frostmoth has Tailwind, which it can use to go first, and super effective Bug Buzz. We had to switch out Reflect for Light Screen. Despite this though, Bug Buzz still does a third. We then took the risk and set up 3 Calm Minds, in order to stall the Tailwind. With it gone, we went for Psychic, which one-shot sweep Grisha's team. With all 8 badges, it's off to our final Titan, Dondozo. A non-Terra boosted Psychic took the Don to almost half, so it's no surprise that Terra boosted Psychic finished it off. For phase 2, we set up 1 Calm Mind, before terrestrializing and going for Psychic. This took Dondozo to below half, making phase 2 also a 2 KO. Next is Tatsugiri. We again set up a Calm Mind for attacking. Tatsugiri survived Psychic with above half health, but then Arven's Greedent took Tatsugiri to a third. This allowed our next Psychic to take Tatsugiri to red health, but then Tatsugiri took out Greedent, so Tom had to take out Tatsugiri the following turn. Time to finish the team star bases, starting with the Fairy base. We start with the Calm Mind, as Azumaro's Aqua Tail did over a third. It was a one-shot with Thunderbolt though. Dashbot and Wigglytuff were both one-shots with Psychic, so all that was left was the Starmobile. Psychic took it to below half, so as its Steel Roller did a third, a second Psychic finished it off. Last is the Fang base. Toxicroak can potentially poison Tom, so we had to take it out immediately. However, we did get hit with the Sucker Punch. Against Lucario, we took a risk instead of a Calm Mind, as Dark Pulse took Tom to a fit. It was a one-shot with Psychic, as was Annihilate, Passimian, and even the Star Move. This was a first try victory on Airy, the first ever for this channel. Time for the Elite Four. With Miraidon having the ability to climb, we were able to grab the TM for Energy Ball. However, first we set up a Calm Mind against Whiscash, who couldn't do that much damage. Next is Dugtrio though. It outsped, giving it the chance to set up Sandstorm, activating its Sand availability, boosting its evasion. This caused Tom to miss Energy Ball. Dugtrio's Earthquake then took over half of Tom's remaining health, but it went down. Against Camerupt, we went for Psychic, but it survived in red health, finishing off Tom with Fire Blast. The next attempt, we terrestrialized, and that made Camerupt a one-shot, but then out came Donphan. It survived Energy Ball thanks to Sturdy, allowing it to use Earthquake, taking Tom to red health. It went down the next turn. Last is Clodsire, who survived Energy Ball at half health. At 8 levels higher, at level 70, we set up 3 Calm Minds against Whiscash. We still only made it to Clodsire in red health, but Energy Ball was now a one-shot. Next on the Elite Four is Poppy. We set up a Reflect, but Copperage's Heavy Slam still did a quarter. I decided to have Tom set up 2 Calm Minds, but Copperage survived Thunderbolt with a quarter. Thunderbolt is neutral to Steel, while Psychic is resisted, so it was our strongest move. At level 80, we now had enough HP to set up 3 Calm Minds, so naturally Copperage was now a one-shot. Corviknight is next, but it was of course a one-shot. Bronzong was also a one-shot, but then out came Magnezone. It survived Psychic thanks to Sturdy, allowing it to set up Light Screen. It went down the next turn, but last on Poppy's team is Tinkaton, who was actually more defensive on the special side. It survived Psychic with a little over half health. We tried this battle many times, but we were just too weak offensively and defensively. We needed a way to reduce the damage of Poppy's Pokemon, so we could set up more Calm Minds. As I was grinding for levels, I had an idea, but it required a lot of grinding. With Tom at level 90, we immediately terrestrialized. I made Tom Water Terra type. Water resists Steel, so this caused Copperaja to switch to its weaker moves. For this attempt, we only set up 4 Calm Minds before taking out Copperaja. Poppy now sent out Magnezone second. It still set up Light Screen though. However, Thunderbolt still one-shots Corviknight. Bronzong was a 2 KO, but this did end Light Screen, meaning that as we went for Thunderbolt and the Tinkaton, we took it out in one hit. Time for Larry. We started with 2 Calm Minds, as Tropius went straight for Solar Beam. It was a one-shot with Psychic. Straptor was a one-shot with Thunderbolt. Altaria and Oricorio were both one-shots with Psychic, so last is Famigo, who was a one-shot with Thunderbolt. Last on the E4 is Hassel. For this battle, we replaced Eviolite with leftovers, because Hassel's lead Norvern has Super Fang. We started the battle with a Light Screen, as Norvern went for its predicted Super Fang. Then, as we set up 2 Calm Minds, Norvern went for Dragon Pulse, and his second Super Fang. It and the rest of Hassel's team were all one-shots with Psychic. Finally, it's time for Gita. We had to immediately take out Espathra or Dark Pulse. This sent out King Gambit, but with Terra Water and Reflect, we were able to set up 2 Calm Minds. We had to use Dark Pulse, which was resisted, so it required 2 hits to take out King Gambit. Gogo and Avalugg were both one-shots with Psychic. Veluza was a one-shot with Dark Pulse, leaving only Glamora, who was a one-shot with Psychic. With the league done, it's time for our Foul No Mana battle. We set up Reflect against Lycanroc, before setting up 2 Calm Minds. Lycanroc never got a crit with Stone Edge, so we were still in green health as we took it out. Palma and the Dunsparce were both one-shots with Psychic. However, for Earthworm, we terrestrialized and went for Terra Blast, which was a one-shot. Goodra survived Psychic, but only did a little damage with Dragon Pulse. Last is Skeletor. It was a one-shot Terror Blast. That's one story done. Next is Directed Clavel. We set up a Calm Mind, as Orango set up Reflect. It was then a one-shot Dark Pulse. Poltergeist was also a one-shot Dark Pulse. Against Gyarados, we set up a second Calm Mind, as its crunched in almost half of Tom's health. It was a one-shot Psychic. Against Houndoom, we Terrestrialized and took it out with Terra Blast. Abomasnow was a one-shot Psychic, leaving only Masquerada. It was also a one-shot Psychic. Time for Penny. She leads with Umbreon, but we didn't Terrestrialize. We took some damage with Dark Pulse, but after 2 Calm Minds, her team was no issue. Umbreon and Sylveon were both 2 KOs though, so there's that. But that's 2 stories done. Last is Arven. We set up 2 Calm Minds as Gradient spam Body Slam. It got the paralysis, but we had Lumberry equipped. With that gone, we went on the offensive. Gradient and Skivilla were both one-shots with Psychic. Toadscruel, Garganacl, and Cloyster were all one-shots with Energy Ball, so last is Mabostiff. It was immune to Psychic, so I Terrestrialized Tom and went for Terra Blast, which one-shot Mabostiff. With all the stories done, we can now head to Area 0, where we have to face Ayatura. We went for 2 Calm Minds against Iron Moth, as its Sludge Wave took out a third of Tom's health. It was then a one-shot Terra Blast. Our Water Terra brought out Iron Hands, but it was a one-shot Psychic. Iron Thorns was a one-shot Terra Blast. Iron Bundle and Iron Jugulis were both one-shots with Thunderbolt, so last is Iron Valiant, who was a one-shot Psychic. With that, we can finally give Tom what he's been desiring, to stop being an Esper. Thank you to everyone who watched this video, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.